Hello. This is something I usually like to do one-on-one with students in my office, but I thought it might be a good way and a good opportunity to start helping you with post-secondary research because that's going to be coming up very, very soon for many of you. And because I can't be there to help you in person, um, this is a good alternative. So if you have a computer or your Chromebook handy, you can go to www.ontariouniversitiesinfo.ca. And we're going to do a little tour just to get you used to this information on the website. So I'm going to put myself away here. You don't need to see my face the whole time. And we'll get going. So this is a good site. This is like your one-stop shop for researching any post-secondary university institution in the province of Ontario. I kind of say it's like going to a shopping mall, but doing some window shopping. So you're not committing yourself to buy anything. You're just seeing what's out in the store and what's going to look best on you and feel best and feel right for you. So this is a good opportunity to take the time to see what is out there because every university in the province of Ontario offers some things a little bit different, even though they have similar programs. So this is the homepage. And there's a lot of information on this website. So I might do some videos later about kind of the ins and outs of some of the other functions of it. But for right now, we're just going to do an overview of mostly these two tabs, so the programs and the universities tab. So when you're first starting your research, you want to look to see everything that's out there. You do have to ask yourself some questions about whether or not you'd want to stay close to home or whether or not you plan to go away to school, how much those options cost, and where the money is going to be coming from in order to support that goal. You also want to look at the programs that are out there, and each program, even if there's an arts program at one school and an arts program at a different one, they probably are a little bit different. Well, they are a little bit different, and you want to make sure that the programs that you're picking are suitable to your strengths, to your interests, to your goals, and know that universities are a place where you're going to learn how to think, and any university you select in the province of Ontario is going to be great to do that. So we'll start here at the universities tab. So if you click on that, I like this because it gives you an overview of every single university in the province of Ontario. I can pick any here, but if I picked one, it'll tell me that at McMaster, there's 28 different programs. Within those programs, there's different disciplines or majors. So I could click on the programs button there, and it would take me to those, and it just organizes it by the discipline. And then again, when I open it up, if I open up any of those disciplines at the bottom, it tells me my subjects of major interest. So those are your major subjects within the faculty or within the department. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you that button there, the 28 programs. Or I could click on more information, and this will tell me a little bit about McMaster. It'll tell me about where it is. It's located in Hamilton, for example. It tells me a little bit about how far a drive it is from where I am. You can use this information on MapQuest as well. It tells you a little bit about the highlights of the university, a little bit of a map there. But it also over here tells you about program news. So that's a really good button if you're looking for new or upcoming programs that they've never offered before. That's where they're going to put that in there. If there's new requirements for different programs, that's where you'll see that. About offers of admissions, campus visits, which aren't happening right now, but hopefully by the summer they'll restart again. This is an interesting one. If you plan on staying away from home, you'll be able to find information about residences, types of residence styles, application requirements, meal plans, activities that are in the residences and how to keep connected that way. There's also the language requirements and then scholarships and awards that school offers. So that's entrance scholarship, bursaries, grants, and things like that. This is a really, really good starting point to see where you want to go. Okay. The other thing that all the university program, all the university sites have is this. It says accessibility website. So that is their own personal kind of homepage for anybody looking to get access to special education kind of services, support services. That's what the universities will offer there. So you can check that out. So again, if I go back to that university site, it will tell me all of these different schools. And some have more than others, like programs. That doesn't mean that one school is better than the other. It just means that that's what they offer. Some schools, for example, Trent, might have 2 campuses listed. So this one will tell you it's in Peterborough, and this one tells you it's in Oshawa. The same goes for Wilfrid Laurier over here and Western up here. There's lots like that. So if you want to search by that, you can, or you can click on the programs. And I sort of like this because if you're really not sure, I would say browse a bunch and take a look just beyond surface level about what they're offering, because you'll never know what's out there until you look. So if I had a discipline in mind, I can type it here and I can, it comes up with all the law programs in the province of Ontario. So it would come up, it would tell me that there's 129 programs associated with that somewhat. So here, for example, this doesn't say arts and sciences at University of Guelph. It doesn't say law, but if I click on it, one of the majors that probably is offered is in that realm. So that's why that would come up. So I do encourage you to look through all of your options and make your way through them. Some of them are related, such as business or child and youth studies. Some are psychology. Some are education programs. Anything like that comes up, okay? But again, if I went back and I really wasn't sure, I could look by category. So they do a really good job of putting them into different categories. So if you know your strengths, if you ask yourself what sort of things you like to study now in high school, where your strengths are, what you enjoy learning the most, you can sort of filter it down by that way as well. Keep in mind that a lot of times when you're in university, you can change your major, but having a good start of what you want to study is the best thing to do, because again, university is going to teach you how to think. So you really want to learn how to do that in a discipline that you're really interested in. So that's that tab there. Over here, the finance and the applications. The applications we're going to be getting into in your grade 12 year, but you can click that and it goes over what you need to know in order to apply. You won't be starting your application though, again, until the fall of your grade 12 year. Finance here, again, overall, just in general, there's 634 scholarships in the province of Ontario, just through the universities alone. That doesn't include all the outside source scholarships, but you can start getting an idea of what's out there. These applications here, though, are for this year's applicants. So these you would not be applying to until after you apply next fall. Okay, so if I go back here, you can go to programs or universities, and I'm just going to pick on one of these, and it can be, this is the first one to see. So we're going to look at Queen's Commerce, for example. So this will tell me here, this site here where I'm looking at the programs, it gives me a little bit of an overview of the program. So it tells me which university is at. The degree is the credential that you get after your 4 years of undergrad study. And so this one, you would earn a Bachelor of Commerce. So there's Bachelor of Arts, there's Bachelor of Science, there's Bachelor of Business Admin, there's Bachelors of anything. So this is just the type of degree you would get. This UAC program code, that's just for your application year. So that's how you search for it on your actual application. So we don't need to know that now. The grade range to get in, this is to be considered for acceptance. This is based on last year's applicants. And so we always say to give yourself a buffer of about 2 to 3%, just to make sure that you're within, the realm of what they consider to be an appropriate average. And it tells you how many spots are in this program in a first year. So what you want to look at are the requirements for that program. So these are your prerequisites for grade 12. So in order to to be considered for acceptance into the Bachelor of Commerce program at Queen's, for example, you would need to have ENG 4U with a minimum mark of 80. You would need calculus and vectors with a minimum mark of 80. And then one other 4U course in math with a minimum mark of 80. That could be functions, it could be data, but keep in mind, if I was looking at this calculus, I would need to take functions as well. It just means that if you didn't have a mark of over 80 in functions, but you had one in data, you could be considered. And then 3 additional 4U or 4M courses. This is an important thing. Anytime there's a kind of like a small print thing, they'll put it here. So this Queen's one says no more than 2 4M courses from the same discipline. So you have to make sure that when you're planning courses for next year, for your grade 12 year, that you're taking all of these things into account. Additional criteria, this is where they're going to tell you if there's any extra things that they take into consideration other than your marks. So that's sometimes statements of experience, supplementary applications. That is where you will find that information. The admission tab, this is how they roll out their offers. Each university will be a little bit different, so it's good to look ahead to see how they take into account your grade 11 marks and your grade 12 marks and when they get your results and how they use those marks to inform their decisions about admission. Again, basic requirements. And then they'll also talk about failed or repeated courses. So all the schools have their own policies about how they calculate failed and repeated courses into their averages. So you want to make sure that you are looking at that. Timing for admissions, so that, I get a lot of questions about early acceptances and things like that. So this is where that information is for each of those programs. And then it'll talk about alternative offers. So that is like if I applied to this Bachelor of Commerce program and unfortunately I didn't get a seat in that, if I met the criteria for a similar program at the school, they may give me an alternate offer. Keep in mind that all offers are conditional upon your successful completion of your grade 12. So, an alternate offer though is still a great thing to have. And then again, residence scholarships and awards. And then if you had any questions specifically, they all list their undergraduate information to contact the rep there. So I could literally do that with any single program. I'm literally going to pick anyone here. And each one will tell me the same thing. So the prerequisites might be different, and they likely are. The degree will be different, how many spots. It will list any kind of major. It will do that for any of them. But for example, if I wanted a business program, there's many business programs that are they're called similar things, but at different universities, they'll have different prereqs for them. So it's up to you to make sure that you have the proper prereqs for the university you want to apply for. So for example, accounting and finance at Ryerson, it goes over the kind of general information there. It talks about the requirements. It doesn't mean to say that there might not be other suggestions or, prereqs at another school. Sometimes it will say that it is suggested that other courses are taken. It means that you don't necessarily need those for acceptance, but it's always a good indicator that when you get there, those courses are going to help prepare you for the courses that are offered at the university pathway. So I always say if there's a suggested course that you take, that you do your best to include it in your plan. The thing I want to show you on this is, again, I could go to the university website if I wanted to learn more about the universities, just like I did from up here. But I could also go to this specific program website. And that's good because this page here will give me just general information. But once I get to this page is just for this university and this program. So I can learn about all the different degrees within this department. I can learn about their own facilities. I can learn about where it is. I can learn about co-op opportunities and student groups, who they work with. When I'm here, I can also click on the department. It'll tell me the admission requirements. I can do visits and tours there. And I also have a course listing. So here's a sample of the courses offered in the accounting program at Ryerson. Again, I can visit the undergraduate calendar for the university. They would be able to provide me with reading lists and a little bit of a breakdown about what I would be learning in each of those courses. But this would be in year 1, I would take those. In year 2, I could take those courses. Year 3, I'd have the option of selecting from them. And then year 4, these are the ones that I could take as well. Again, it tells you anything of note about their program. And then oftentimes the universities will provide kind of student accounts of what it's like to be a student in that discipline. So this is sort of beyond the surface. This is a good spot to do some research. And I highly recommend that once you've narrowed it down to some programs that you like, that you start doing these program website tours and scavenger hunt kind of stuff, because that's where you're going to find out if that's a program that really does interest you. If you're looking at the course list and you're like, heck no, I wouldn't want to learn that, then that might not be a program that you are going to enjoy. On the other hand, if you're looking at them and you're thinking, wow, that sounds really awesome, I've never really thought about studying that, or that sounds really interesting to me, then that's probably a good indicator that you should do a little bit more research on that one as well. Maybe keep that in your pile of the go-tos. So that's all I want to do in this video for the tutorial. I'm going to do another one again, looking at finance and the application process and things like that. But don't feel that you can't ask me any questions. So shoot me an email if you have any questions or concerns, and we can talk about it. We can make an appointment to meet. I'm here to help. So have fun. Happy searching.